Oh, it's your review? You've been watching a lot of Prime lately. So
Not really, just that show.
The Marvelous Ms. Maisel.
Yeah.
You're reviewing the whole series?
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed this show from the beginning. Some of the seasons ended really. There's one that's really depressing. The end of one season, like, oh no, they just left her at the airport.
Wasn't that season 3?
I don't know,
because you were waiting forever for season 4.
It depressed me like heck. I think it might have been during the pandemic because I was like, I'm depressed already. This is so depressing for her and her agent. Basically, the show is about a woman who's, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. Season 1, a woman whose husband wants to do some stand-up, but he leaves her for his secretary, and she has 2 kids. And
because she wanted to do stand-up.
No, he wants to do stand-up. So when she finds out that, she kind of like wanders down to this like place, I think, where he was gonna do stand-up. I can't remember. And she does stand-up. Just walks into this bar, the Gaslight, that has like.
Yeah, wasn't she drunk when she did it the
Yes,
first time?
because he just left her, and she walks in, and she does just goes up and starts talking, and people think she's hilarious. And there's a woman there who realizes this woman can be a star, and Susie, and she becomes her agent. So it's about Midge, who's Mrs. Maisel, and Susie is what it's about, essentially. And then we have the family of Midge. We have her ex-husband, Joel, and her best friend, and her husband, who's friends with Joel.
Yeah. So
and then
Susie is Alex Bornstein.
Yes,
that you're talking about. That's the voice of Lois Griffin from Family Guy.
She is hilarious.
Yeah, she is a hilarious person.
And Mrs. Maisel's parents, Tony Shalhoub, oh my gosh, the parents are so funny. And the more funny are Joel's parents. You're seeing them there at the end. Mm-hmm. Caroline, Aaron, and
Kevin Pola.
Oh my gosh, they're so funny. Joel's parents are so funny. And at one point, Midge's parents have to move in with them. And their maid. They have a maid. They live in this really fancy apartment.
And the other people lose their home.
No, Midge they live in a fancy apartment. They've lived there forever in New York. And it's in a fancy area. And her father works as a professor for the university. And basically the apartment comes with a job. And then he quits his job. He doesn't realize they don't have a place to live.
That's not smart. Point.
So, well, they all sort of have a crisis, identity crisis in this. Most of the characters go through some kind of like evolvement like that, like a crisis, and then you see them resolve it. There's so much going on in it. Now, the only thing is they're very loud. They yell a lot. They talk a lot. They're New Yorkers. I don't know if you could take all their yelling, especially when they're all in the same room. They're like, rah, rah, rah. You're not.
Sounds like East Coast families to me.
Not used to that. I know. It reminded me of home. But maybe don't speak as loud, but maybe we do. Anyway, but it's just really funny. And the sad part of it is the Lenny Bruce side to it.
This series is over. You can spoil it if you want.
Well, I don't want to spoil the last season. I'm just telling some things that happened throughout the season. Anyway, this season we start to see all these seasons. Mrs. Maisel doesn't really make it. She has to go work in a strip club. She has all these issues, right?
Just a strip?
No. She introduces all the. It's really
the
funny.
Hostess.
She's the hostess. And over time they get like classier and classier. She makes them like change the place, and she always has a special outfit on. The dresses and the costumes in this are fabulous. And actually, not really a spoiler, but the very last, like the ending of the very last show showed all of the sets that they made up. Because this is like 57 to 61. And it's all that beautiful clothes and everything, and it's very nice. But Susie doesn't dress like that. Everyone keeps on
like a guy,
thinking she's a man, and but this season, not really a spoiler, they start showing the future. This is what happens this season.
What future?
They start jumping to the future.
Okay, what's the future? We're talking
Many different things that happen.
The year 3000 future?
With the characters.
Okay.
They go to 2005. They jump to like the 70s. They jump to the 80s, and like they jump back and forth for all the characters.
Does it work well, or does it seem like they were rushing the ending?
No, because they're showing things that happen, and at the end, the only thing is, well, it would be a spoiler. I don't want to say. Anyway, because people haven't maybe watched it yet. But I'll give a little spoiler. She does become famous. And we do find this out before we see her become famous, because they jump to the future and she's famous already.
Oh, at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's made it. And, but we're trying to figure out how she made it, I suppose. That's how did she make it?
Yeah, it's not the end. It's not the destination. It's the journey, right?
Yeah.
So would you say these 5 seasons are worth watching?
Yes, I loved the show.
Okay,
this show loved it.
Currently has a 90% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It'll be certified as soon as they stop taking new reviews. And it's got an 82% audience score, so pretty high.
Well, I think
outside of Spider-Verse there, but
again,
for a show, that's really good.
Like where I come from, we speak quickly. They speak quickly in this show. Mm-hmm. They speak loud. They speak fast. I can see some people having a problem with that, and because there's a lot goes on, so I could see that maybe as 82% because there is like a lot of back talk, and they're all funny. All the people in it are just hilarious. Like, anyway, I don't want to get into the spoiler, but it's really worth it. It's a great show. Is it
a comedy or drama?
Both.
Both? Okay, so
Both.
It's a dramedy.
It's way more of a comedy than I think. The drama is the Lenny Bruce side of things. It really goes through real things that happened to him in his life. Because he comes in and out of the show through all the seasons. And of course he passed away and he had many problems, and it shows the decline of Lenny Bruce. And
that's Midge's husband?
No, Lenny Bruce, the comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a real character on this. He's like a real person.
Okay, so it's an actor playing Lenny Bruce. Is that right? Okay,
yeah,
I'm following you now. Sorry, I haven't seen the show.
About like Lenny Bruce's life, like basically like there's a snowstorm in it, and Midge gets freezing. What did she say? She got crotch frost because she gets stuck in the snowstorm with one of those dresses on.
Midge is Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, and she loses a toe or something.
She loses a toe?
Yes.
Ouch.
And I looked it up, and it actually is a thing that he did actually perform in this snowstorm at like midnight at Carnegie Hall. Anyway, it's just funny.
What rating would you give this show?
For me?
If you had to rate it, what would you give it? Best or worst series ever?
Oh, best. And his daughter, Kitty Bruce, actually was credited on the show as well to help them with it.
Yeah, they probably got a lot of information from
Lenny
her.
Bruce was a comedian that was way before his time, and the things that he did were considered lewd. It's this whole lewd business. Like, remember Jim Morrison got said he was lewd, and they still did that in the 60s too. Like, all this lewdness and all this kind of stuff.
They
and
still
he kept
do it now.
Kept on going to jail. No, he kept on going to jail. And everybody in this show ends up in jail. Like, almost every character ends up in a jail cell at one point. It's like normal for them all, and they all have to bail each other out.
So typical Tuesday in New York City, if you live there, I guess. I don't know. If you live in New York City, and you guys everyone in your family gets arrested at least once. Let us know.
Yeah, speaking out, and comedians went to jail back then for just saying kind of normal things we would say anytime now.
Yeah. Now they get canceled, so...
Yeah.
Guess it's not so bad now.
No, yeah, but it's just they weren't even saying very bad things or anything. But she can say anything she wants at the strip club.
Yeah, it's the strip club.
But they do get raided.
I mean, it's a strip club. You go there for debauchery, right?
Well,
that's the whole point.
What happens is the clientele starts getting to be more of a quality establishment over time, and women start going there because they want to see her perform, and it becomes more of a a quality.
Okay, you're spoiling it again. Yeah,
Well, that was another.
Okay, so you give it best series ever. You know?
Yeah.
I may regret this, and this never happens, but you convinced me to watch this show. I'm gonna check this out.
Okay.
Now, if I start watching it and I don't like it, I'm tapping out.
They're gonna be loud. Just be ready for that.
Well, if that's what you've been watching with all the people yelling constantly. However, I'm gonna check it out sometime.
That might have been
when I
Succession.
have time. Check it out sometime because
It's really good.
we finished watching another show recently where it's not to review because it's older, but so I do have some time to check out some shows, so maybe I'll check that out sometime. So that was The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, 5 seasons. It's ended now from
there's a lot that
2017 to
happens.
2023, and it's on Prime.
Yeah.
One of the few good shows on Prime. They need more good content
it's
there.
very good, and it's such quality too. And even if you're just interested in fashion, you should watch this show.
Well, I mean, yeah, so period pieces cost a lot of money, and if it's Amazon and they want to put the money into it, Amazon's got all the money, right?
Listen,
they could make
fabulous.
I mean, they made that Rings of Power show.
Right.
That's the most expensive anything ever made, and that's why the show looks so good.
Right.
They just need
Like
better
the
writing.
dresses
'cause it
that
was
her
kinda...
mother and she wears, like the clothes are just fabulous.
So I'm gonna check it out, but Christine says it's best series ever.
It is.
If you've seen it or if you're checking it out currently, let us know down in the comments below. Do you like it? If you checked it out and you didn't like it, let us know and let us know why. We want to hear from you.